So we've started entering the main bazaar. You can see traders and buyers coming here from far and wide. The Suru Valley, the Pashkum Valley, the Indus Gorge, the Dras Valley to buy commodities and essentials. And you can see stores having somewhat a central, crude and last remnant Central Asian feel. You can see copper sellers, spice dealers, and but it's changing so fast. It's changing so fast. So we are starting towards Srinagar along the Surunala. So Surunala will take a right turn here and then take a northwesterly course and head towards Marol and then Skardu. This was the old trading caravan route, and caravans from Kargil to Skardu used to take this route. The line of control is not far from here. It's just 10 kilometers, and you can actually see Khanaka, a religious place on the other side of the border by an ektai just from this spur. So this the valley on the right is the valley that goes to Skardu, a distance of about 180 kilometers from this point. The old caravan trading route, and it was fairly a run along the river route with no pass. This is the Suru River. We have just left Kargil town and have started towards east, towards the Dras Valley. The river here takes a right turn in a northwesterly direction and enters this valley towards Marol, joining the Indus at Marol, and then goes all the way up to Skardu. This was the old caravan trading route, and it was fairly an easy route. Walk along the river, and it had no mountain pass all the way up to Skardu. Distance of about 190 kilometers, 180 to 190 kilometers. That's the confluence of the Dras River with the Suru River, and after merging together they head towards Kargi, the gateway to Karakoram. Alas, it's not free motorway, but I hope one day it is. And you see this wall, and this is being made for the vehicles to be protected from the artillery shells that used to be thrown, exchanged by both the sides 20 years ago. But now that we have a ceasefire in place and it seems it's being respected till date, so we're closing in Dras. This is the Dras Valley system. It will broaden in the form of a bowl, and that is the Dras area. Agriculturally quite green, but as you know, in the winters it's terribly cold, so people mostly migrate or stay indoors during the harsh 3 months of the winter here. So we'll be passing Bimbad and then Dras town, and hopefully once we are in Dras, the valley opens up and the sun rays would be hitting the mountains, and should be a beautiful scene. So here we are, the Dras Valley, looking so beautiful as the sun sets, with the light hitting the trees and giving a jade-like effect to the valley. We are close to Bimbat, and then we'll be passing through the Dras town. The features we see straight ahead are the areas very close to the Diosa Plains and the northern areas. line you see straight in front is the Dras Tiger Hill Range. This was one of the most severe battle areas in border war 20 years ago, and it became famous and has now been immortalized probably in movies and been branded. And this was one of the focus areas of the 1999 border dispute between the two neighboring countries. Okay, it's the other side of Dras, the area which is close towards the Umbala, a true route towards Sanku. Lovely moments, light falling on the houses and the vegetation. We entered the Dras Bazaar. Dras Bazaar has been historically important as a trading link of the main caravan route onwards towards Kashmir and Gures through the Mashkonala. So we have passed the village of Pandras and we are closing into Matayan, and very soon inshallah to the top of Zoji, and we'll start descending towards Sonamarg. We are in Matayan. This is the first village once crossing to Zoji in the Ladakh division. It's a very small village with a mixed Dardi and Kashmiri population, and straight ahead you see is the small Matayan Nala. It's all red bear territory and reportedly having good concentration of ibex also in the crags. It's a small sleepy town. We have just left Matayan and are heading towards Gumre. This is the Matayan strip, is the last agricultural land you'll see on the Ladakh side before hitting the Zojila. And after this we don't have any permanent settlement, only the Bakarwals, who are the summer sheep and cattle rearers who hit the mountains in summers, and they too will be starting back towards the Kashmir Valley in a month's time. So we have left the last settlement and we are exactly hitting the main crush line of the Himalayas and one of the very world famous passes, Zoji, to descend down to the Kashmir Valley. This is the old caravan route that skirts the Minimarit meadow on its right side, and where I witnessed traders, researchers, invaders, kings, adventurers. So this is Minimarg, and this is where the east portal of the Zojila tunnel is supposed to open. A lovely meadow, this time full of Bakarwals, but they'll be returning home in a couple of months, and all the terrain here will turn brownish, and that is the onset of autumn. So we are approaching Zojila, which is actually not really a high pass by altitude. If we go by the Himalayan standards, it's about 11,500. But this is a very historic pass, and it's geophysically a very unique pass. That is that on its Ladakh side, it's actually a plain run, and the moment you hit the watershed, it starts losing height, and then there is a sheer drop, and the motorway loops down to the Sonamarg valley floor. A historic pass from where invaders, conquerors, adventurers, traders, scholars, bandits, families, various nationalities have passed over centuries and centuries. And one of the passes from which Buddhism spread towards Western Tibet. So it's got all historic significance, but geographically it may not look really like a pass, because as I said earlier, the Ladakh side, it's a flat run as we are cruising now, and as we hit the watershed at 11,500, slowly and then suddenly the drop begins. So this is Zojila, the historic pass. The other thing is that this pass remains closed for about 6 months a year due to heavy accumulation of snow that is further compounded by snow falling and slipping from the side mountains. But the problem then remains to tunnel it through in March and April, and special cutters are used to make it usable for the traffic. The other thing is that because of such a high amount of snow and ice around for about 7 months, macadamization has been a challenge, and it doesn't survive another season. So an innovative thing has been done. They are tiling it, and at the moment our Jeep is cruising on a tiled surface, which is quite unheard of in other places. But it makes sense because cement doesn't get damaged as wood blacktop in severe winters. So it's totally a different feel now, and it's much better. They're improving on the tiling, and I think there are just few pockets left to be tiled. We've started descending the Zoji, and just after the bend we will be descending steeply on the loops, and then hitting the floor of Ranga Meadow and then towards Sonmarg. Zoji is a typical rock formation pass, and as I said earlier, also one side of it is quite flat, but the other side towards Kashmir is a sheer drop. We have started descending. The terrain is really rough, and in fact on the way up we used an all-wheel drive mode. Here the road bifurcates into left and right. Usually the down traffic takes the left fork, and the up traffic takes the right fork. This is called the India Gate for some reason, I don't know. So we are taking the the left fork, and we start descending. Just having the first glimpse of the Ranga Meadow, and Baltal is at its foothills, and this is Kashmir. We make a turn, and that's the first glimpse of the valley of Kashmir. The sun has already set, but still there is some residual light left, and I can see the streaks from the river down below the valley floor.